Hello, all out there. How's everybody doing tonight? Hello, Janet. How you doing? Good morning to you there. Good morning, Sherry. How are you both doing today? Fine, young ladies. Great. That's good. Yes, it's 10:30 at night now. Had a long day of work. uh, to be honest, feeling a bit tired because up till a little late last night, but I've got to do this. I got to get these done. I made a promise to to get things off start things off like I've been working on these Friday night type caricatures that will be like small comic book. Um, Basically, like what Gary was talking about from Nerderotics was he was wanting something like this for the hey, what's up, brightest day? He was wanting something like this kind of look for what should we call it for the Friday night teas. Oh my god, I can't speak tonight. For the FNT crew. So I've printed out some reference photos here of all kinds of the old style ones. So we're always thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you guys out there watching it and enjoying it as well and sharing in the whole experience. So what I thought I'd do tonight first, as you can see, this isn't the usual setup. This is a light board that I made so I could do trace by drawings. And I'll just switch it on here real quick. It's got LED lights inside of it. I like to do lots of woodworking as well. I make like cabinets and stuff and tables and this and that. So this one's got LED battery operated LED lights in them. I put one set in at first and it wasn't bright enough. So I've got two sets in now. This is it with one set on. It looks strange to you on the video, but for me, it's very flat. And then here's with both of them on. And that'll make it brighter. So those are the, I hope the glare doesn't get to you all tonight, but those are the, it's the light board setup I've got, which is great when you need to trace things. I do a lot of stuff with my hands. Try to go to the computer as least, as least as possible. So the whole thing I'm going to be working on, I don't know if you saw them on Twitter, but I put up a bunch of the Friday night type caricatures up there. And Gary was really into them, really liked them. And so I've been in contact with him and Mrs. Neurotic, and they basically had a few like critiques and suggestions for them, and basic things I knew that they were going to want me to do. But so what I thought I was going to do is just go through the process of how I did this project, and then after I go through the process, hold on one second. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. So I thought I would go through the process of how I go about doing, well, in general, how I go about doing caricatures or a lot of different kinds of illustration products. Hey, what's up, Low Spec? Good morning to you, man. So first thing I need is reference photos. And I was kind of doing this on the down low. And I didn't want to bother people about getting reference photos from them because I kind of wanted it to look, I wanted to find the kind of unique expressions or what have you. So the first part of the process was going through YouTube videos or home pages, but mostly, actually, it just ended up being home YouTube videos, and just trying to capture that one moment where people are like, they have a good expression, and I try to capture that expression with a screenshot. So these are like all screenshots I took YouTube videos, and then Tom always got this glare in his face, but I thought that would kind of be like cool to use within his portrait caricature. And this is Garrett's, like in his little Batman kind of, that kind of psychedelic, whatever you call it. So yeah, that was the first first process. And comics is hard to find a good one as well, because he's constantly looking down at his monitor. But sometimes he'll look up, and you kind of got to capture that moment. So actually, this part of it probably took the longest, just finding good reference photos. And yeah, so then after that, that's the reference photo part. I do not like constantly looking at the reference photos. I like to try to get away from those as much as possible. All right, so the step after that is I went back in, and this was the blue pencil part. And I worked on these probably about for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at the most, just really quick ones. So these are all the, I didn't like that face. I just gave up on that. So these are all like the portraits I did for from the reference photos. Yeah, these are like Odin and comics. These are the As ones. And then there's Jeremy and Garrett. These are all really quick. Comics and Nerdrotics. And then the Ryan and the Tom one. So these are about the size of my hand. Went in there with blue pencil. Did those really quick. And then what I did next was I scanned all of those images, because they're quite large. And I printed them out in grayscale. Whoops. Yeah. Printed those out in grayscale. And then I took those and I traced over these, because, the light is pretty strong from the lightbox, but having this on like printer paper allowed more light to come through, which made the tracing process more, it just made it easier on the eyes, easier to do. So I did each one of these on larger sheets of paper, thicker sheets of paper. And I just went over these with, basically went right over them with black ink and Copic pens. So this is a thicker stock of paper. I put these on top of the lighter ones with my lightbox. And then as I was tracing, kind of was looking at the original reference photos while tracing, and kind of, working on some things here and there. And yeah, then I threw those. Those are basically like this right here. These are the black and white tracings of my drawings that I put in the grayscale. So that's all these right here. A little bit smaller than the size of my hand. That one's blank. Don't know why. Oh, there's comic books. Okay. Where did I put that at? Yeah. So that's the process up to this point. I took those in, scanned those in, and put some digital clear on them and sent them over, put them up on Twitter and sent them Gary's way. So now my next step is to clean these up. So what I've done is I've printed these out larger, because I want to work on getting some nice detail in there. And these, again, are about the size of my hand. And each one of these is the individual portrait. Yeah, I know it's a lot of work. Each one of these is like the individual portrait. I'm not going to be doing all of these tonight. This is going to take some time. This isn't a project that you get done overnight. So these are all the individual portraits. And then, so I'm going to copy each one of these individually. And while I'm copying them, basically the one thing that I'm going to try to do is decrease the amount of lines that I've got in here, make them a lot more graphic, like this stuff. Well, I mean, they're really graphic right now as they are, but just like kind of cleaning up some of the lines. You know, very few minimal lines. Working on some of these really thick shadows. That's something that's very unique to this style, like the whole Kirby style and the Bronze Age comic books, or golden. I don't know which ones these are. These Bronze or Golden Age. I don't know. I get those terms mixed up. Something in this kind of, form. And then I'm going to, what I want to do is I don't want to use, I want to use as little digital color as, I don't even think I'm going to use digital color. I'm going to go back into those and use my acrylic inks. And the only thing that I'm going to do digital is Gary was wanting, and I don't know if he's going to use these or not. I hope so. But if not, then, hey, so is life. But he seems really enthused about them. So I'm hoping that, we'll be able to, you'll be able to use these. Thank you, Janet. I know it's a long explanation, but I just want to kind of, for anybody who's interested out there, like the process that I go through. When I started out at college, we didn't have computers. We had to use markers and cut things out, acetone, and we had to cut, I can't remember all the terms and everything we used. It wasn't until my third year of college that we started using computers. I was going to give you this term. No, that's not what I was wanting. Hold on a second here. So Gary was wanting. Hold on a second. Let's find this here. Some more pop color and possible micro zipatone. By the way, thank you guys for the thumbs up there. I appreciate it. And thank you again for all the subscriptions. I made it finally over 100. Thanks to all of you out there. I really, really, really appreciate that. I'm going to wait somewhere down the line a little bit to do 100 stream, because YouTube, for some reason, I seem to, my subscription numbers are like, they'll go up and then they'll go down, they'll up and go down. I'll lose like 5 subscriptions at a time. And right now I'm at 105. So I thought it'd be kind of stupid for me to do like a 100, subscription. And I go to do it, it's like at 99. I would just look like a fool. So I decided to wait a little bit longer until I do some kind of like celebration. I'd like to have people on or something of the sort. Just to maybe do something where it's not a drawing stream, but just like, like have whoever wants to hop on, and we can just talk and have a good time. So that'll be somewhere later down the road. But for now, I'm trying to think about who I want to work on first here. Like X-Ray Girl, she's basically like, this is basically done. I don't think that I need to get any more graphic with that. That's about as simple as you can get right there. So I'm going to actually consider her. I just need to clean up some spaces. So as a tutorial, I guess I could just, like Garrett's really, really, and Tom as well. They're all like, I consider these three to be the most graphic and simplest of them all. Like really, really basic, like hardly any lines, especially X-Ray Girl. It's just so simple. I think that's the one thing about doing like the lady's portrait as well. I mean, I could go in there with them. I don't know. There's always room for improvement. There's always room for something to work on. So let's do, that beard's going to take a while for Odin. Jeremy, I want to clean up a little bit for, I'm actually thinking about finding another like expression for Jeremy as well. Yeah, Ryan as well. So let's go ahead and do, let's just go ahead and do comics division. We'll go do head comics division because it's pretty simple. And so here's my paper here. So basically with this size, I could get 2 portraits on one of these pieces of paper. Now we use, in the States, we use different sizes of paper here in Japan than they do in the States. In the States, you have like letter size, which is what was it, 8.5 by 11? I can't remember. But here in Japan, we have, this is an A4 size, A4, which is slightly narrower but taller than a letterhead, which can be a little bit troublesome when you're having to convert sizes and stuff like that from, I guess, American or Western publications, because you have to use different margins. But for my purposes over here, I'm always going to be using Japanese measurements and measurements and sizes, because that's what we do over here. So this is an A4 size right here, and then this is an A3 size. And my scanner can scan up to this size. So that's why I got a big old scanner. It's actually under my computer here. A3 size. A3 size is twice the size of A4. So there you go. So what I'm going to do is first, I don't know if this is boring you guys all or not. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves in the chat. I just promised that I would have something for Mrs. Nerdrotic this week, and I wanted to do this first before I got to this, which actually I went ahead and I love going to the coffee shop and chilling out there and working, and I just felt like today was a coffee shop day. So before my classes started, I headed out to the coffee shop and I actually worked on that demon drawing some more, the demon in the night. I got to work with the night down here, but I did some coloring for that. That's the inks. So that's something I thought I would work on a little bit later. Like this, and just kind of finish this up. I unfortunately found out today on accident that I bought this new Copic white ink to use like on these highlights and stuff. And I was like, oh man, this is going to be awesome. This is perfect. It's really opaque, and it's going to be perfect for like covering up messy stuff. Yeah, thank you. The demon looks great. The night below needs a lot of work done to it. I was kind of getting tired. I was just tired today. I need to go back in there and do some work on it. But the demon is the main part of it anyways. I want him to be like standing out. But yeah, the night down here needs a lot of work, which I was wanting to do work on that tonight. Yeah, but the demon is, it's pretty evil. I like its hands too. Thank you, Janet. Thank you. Yes, I'm going to work on that later. I want to get at least one of these portraits, caricatures done before I hop onto that. So long as I've got some energy in me. Yeah, I had some classes today, and I don't want to talk about work too much, but I teach English to ages 3 and up over here. And my kids today were very unenthused. And so it was just like banging my head against the wall. So I was ready to get back home and get started on things tonight. That's all I'm going to do, talk about that right there. So again, like the light board I've made here, handmade. I found a cool, whenever I do like any kind of woodworking project, I'm not like an expert woodworker or DIY guy. So I try to find the stuff that is, more within my range. So I found a nice, good old, easy DIY light box, and it's been on my agenda. And it's been on the agenda to make for a long time. And I was just like, okay, I'm working on comics. I'm going to need it. So I busted one out in a day. And what happened was I actually made it too tall. And what happened was the light was when I first did it, it was like probably like half the size of this paper, and not enough light was coming up. The distance was too far from this I've got this plexiglass here, which is a milky white plexiglass, so it's opaque. But whenever you turn on the light, it's not like really, really bright in your eyes. It doesn't hurt your eyes. You got to get a certain kind of milky, translucent. Yeah, but when I built it, it was too tall. And so not enough light was getting, the distance was too far, and I wasn't getting enough light to come through, even like a thin piece of printer paper. So I had to take it all apart, cut all the pieces, cut some more grooves in it. So I cut that half in half again. So now it's about this tall. Before it was this tall, and I cut about, I would just say about maybe 2 inches off of it, and completely different now, completely different. So the photo, the sketch that I have below, tape that down first. Oh shoot, I should put this over more here. Well, actually, that doesn't matter. And here's my piece of paper. And since this A4 is half the size of this A3, I'll meet it right up here to the edge. And I'm going to put some more tape on this as well. And what I'm going to do is avoid putting tape on top of tape, because if I want to pull this up and check, and the tape's on the tape on the bottom one, it'll cause problems. So I like to have the tape on the top piece of paper in different locations and not covering the tape on the bottom piece of paper. This is something I found out very recently. That's what it's all about. Trial and error, trial and error. And this is actually a pretty big light box. I would say it's it would be about over 2 feet long. I would say it's about two. I don't work within feet and inches anymore. It's completely metric system over here. So yeah, I'd say probably about 2.25, 2 feet, 2 inches, somewhere around there. I've been working with the metric system for 20 years now, so I've just like the whole inches and feet and ounces and gallons, just it's lost to me. All right. Oh man, I had some pizza for dinner tonight, and I think I had a little too much pizza, and I'm just thirsty as hell. And no matter how much water I drink, I can't get enough water. All right, here we go. All right. Okay, so let's get started here. So I got so this is with one light on, and you can see how much I can see before I could see less than this. So it was a real struggle to see what was going on. And that was with one light. And I put in 2 sets of LED lights. So that's with one LED light with another light source from my computer on my desk. So now I'm going to turn on my other LED light. And as you can see, actually there's a function for my screen to stop the brightness, but it's actually a lot clearer than it was before. Yeah. So now I'm going to go back in. And all right. Yes, the more water, the better. Definitely there. I shouldn't have had that. I was just like in a real craving for some pizza. I don't know. And then I went to this one local diner. And they get all of their stuff they get a lot of their ingredients and things from Costco. We've got 2 Costco's. One is 2.5 hours away. The other one is almost 4 hours away. And so he gets a lot of his ingredients from there. And so it's like a really American style diner. It's got the whole look and everything. So I'll go there from time to time. Plus, he's got my artwork up there, and he sells it, takes like 10% or what have you. So I was surprised when I went in today to have dinner, and when I went to go pay my bill, he's like, "Oh, by the way, you sold a piece. One of your pieces sold." I was like, "Oh, no way, awesome!" So that was like it was for like $40, and yeah, so that paid for my meal. There you go. So I'm gonna take uh, turn this off real quick. Um, I like to use these kind of these engineering draft. I don't know what these kind of pencils are called, but I got these blue lead, and I love to use these for my drawings. All right, here we go. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, I apologize. I'm working on something that's not as exciting as my comic stuff right now, but I'm going to work on this probably for about 30, 40 minutes, and then hop over to, I'll be a little bit longer, maybe an hour. And then after that, hop over to the comic drawing, well, the comic style drawing. So what I'm wanting to do here is kind of clear things up. So when I'm tracing this time, less lines. And when you blow stuff up, you can see where all the bumps and all the inconsistencies are. So this time around, I'll try to make those cleaner. So it's just a matter of tracing. Yeah, you can't really see much of what I'm tracing here, but yeah, as you're tracing, you can kind of like decide to cut things out, keep them in. Gives us more graphic style to it. Yeah, this is so much better when it's blown up like this. So this is just a way to clean it all up. And then after I've drawn all these blue lines, I'll be able to basically, this will be the stage where I can basically just fill in what I've done here. And that'll allow me to get some really clean, sharp lines. It's just the here, I'll turn it off and show you what I got here so far. So this is, so you can see how I'm tracing here. Like these lines are so much more sharper than what I originally did. You know, as you're doing an illustration, the first stitch, we always call those the rough sketches, and then gradually it gets sharper and sharper until the final product is, sharp as it gets. Less lines. Yeah, this is going to look a lot better. And then what I could do is, again, I could clean this up even some more afterwards, in Photoshop or something like that as well. Like again, I try to use the digital process step as little and as late as possible. And again, if you have any questions or comments, just feel free to ask. And I'll keep try to keep a watch on the chat as much as possible. I'm working a little further away from the computer right now, so it's a little bit harder for me to keep track of everything, but I'll do my best. And again, for those of you who are arriving late, I will be getting over to my illustration, the artwork that I've been working on the previous live stream, where I was doing a knight and a big fire demon. Yeah, I'll be getting to that as soon as I've worked on. I'm going to do one of these, and I'm going to send it over. I'm going to get it to basic a finished stage and send it over to Gary and Mrs. Neurotic, and get the get their thoughts on it. And if they like how it's looking, or if they have any more suggestions, then I'll do that. But again, just trying to clean it up here. And what I'll do is like some of these little lines I'll cut out in the final one. But as I'm sketching here, as I'm tracing, I'm leaving things and taking out things. It's just part of the process of cleaning things up. I don't even know if I need, well, I kind of like this look right here. And everybody's got like their caricature style. Well, the challenge that I'm working with here is maintaining my style while imitating another style, which could be kind of a tricky area, because I want people to know that, well, I don't necessarily need people to know, but I want to maintain my unique qualities of my work, but at the same time, I know I have, essentially, I think of Gary as a client who has a certain image in mind. So I want to do something in my style, but it essentially is a different style. So it's a weird kind of yeah. You got to kind of like give and take. So there's some of these lines I'll probably end up coming out like these ones I just traced right now. I don't think I actually need those, but I'll keep them anyways for now. But I'll try to make things. Yeah, as graphic and simple as possible. Because you know what they say, simple is best. Yeah, this is a fun part, because just the cleaning up process allows you could like see the final product as you're working, and you're like, oh man, this is gonna be cool. But again, thank you all for coming out here tonight, and I apologize for not working on that first. But what I wanted, the comic first, but what I wanted to do was get this out of the way, at least get started on this before I lost, because I am working on kind of an empty tank tonight. So apologies there, but I want to kind of get this out of the way before I get, clock winds down and the eyelids start getting heavy. All right. So comic book tracing part is done. So this is basically what I've got here. Let me turn on some lights here. What I like about this desk too, and I know you can't see it here, but what I like about this desk is it's got like, I don't know, like hydraulics in it. So you can move it up and down very easily. So if I want to get this really close, I can bring it up really close to the camera. And this is me moving the table up and down. And then I could push all the way down here. And I can bring it up to a level where it's kind of like, it's easy for me to trace at. Because my light box is pretty, it's pretty tall. So if I have it on the regular size table, my arms are up here and it's difficult to work with. So if I've got a table where I can adjust the height easily, it's just perfect for this process. So this is what I've traced here of this. And as you can tell, the lines are a lot crisper. And so basically now it's just, with this part, it was tracing over lines with ink as I was going, so I wasn't really getting clean edges. Now that I'm tracing over this, all these edges are really, really clean and crisp. And so I'll go back in here now and basically go in here with a black ink. And what I want to do tonight too is I'm going to be messing around with color. So I don't know. The thing about these colors is they're really, really, really flat, except for like if you've got like Thor, his helmet. There's some gradation going on there, but very, very. I think it's a very minimal gradation. But the thing that's so beautiful about these and this art style, which is why I quit comic books in the 90s, because for me, this very simplistic graphic style is where it was all at. I love this style. I didn't as much when I was a kid. I still loved it, but I liked the Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane and things like that. But the older I got, the more that this style here did it for me. I really like that picture of X-Ray Girl. I thought that was a good one. And Odin looking all serious. So what I would like to do with Ryan is have him having a scowl, like a raging Ryan. And the scowl that I had in mind is basically here. Where did that go? On Wolverine. His is a little bit more subtle. But if you can see, Wolverine's got a little bit of a scowl on there. So, oh, Supreme Heretic, what's up, man? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Supreme Heretic. Yes, I have 105 now, but I appreciate it. Like, I'm wanting to do some kind of celebration, but hold on a second here. I'm going to turn on the lights. As I was saying earlier, like my subscriptions, it's really weird. They've been going like up and down. They were like at one point they were at 115, and then they went down to 113 or 110, and then went back up to 114, down to 111, then down to 103, and now they're at 105. So it's like I have no idea what's going on here. I can't imagine that people were unsubscribing. And Sporking, he had to subscribe to my channel again because they unsubscribed him. I was like, okay, that doesn't make any sense at all. But that's how YouTube works. So what can you say? So I was gonna wait till I got maybe another 10 subscribers. And then when I know I've got a number that YouTube is gonna go in there, like if they randomly take away 5 of them and I've only got like 99 subscribers and I do a 100 subscriber stream, I'd feel pretty dumb. So just going to hold off on that for a second. So now I'm going to go back into here. This is kind of dim. There we go. I'm going to go back into here. I'm going to fill in these, the lines I've traced with the black ink. Yeah, I'll just do that. And then after I'm done doing that, I think I'll go into my comic drawing. If you're curious, I'm got my headphones on right now listening to some Mr. Bungle. I need something crazy to keep me awake. I'm going to grab me some more water as well. I'll be right back. Yeah. No, it's weird how they do that. I'll be right back. The good thing about using this plexiglass and stuff on here is yeah, I've got everything really tight, so it would be very difficult for water to get through. So I could basically just use this as a table. I could take it off though. Let me do that. Yeah. So the great thing about this table too, keep on bragging about it, I know, is since it's show what it's like. Shoot, got some water on there. Since this table, this light box, this light box, I put the batteries, I attach them to the side here. So this is completely like portable. I can carry it, don't have to worry about any like unplugging it or anything at all. And if I have to do anything on the inside of it, there's these screws here. Just unscrew it, take off the panel. So easy to work with. There we go. So actually, if I have to carry this somewhere, I can use that light box anywhere. All right. So as you can see, this is a drawing table. There we go. All right. The one danger of art is having your drinking water and your your brush water in the same vicinity. Many a time have I almost put my brush straight into my drinking water. Oh no, Supreme Heretic. Sorry to hear about that there. Man, I hope she gets better soon. All right. So let's see here. Again, I like to do everything brushes and stuff. I don't like to go in and trace everything digitally. It's just how I roll. Old school. Let me raise this up a little bit. All right. There we go. All right. Oh, where's my ink at? There we go. Yeah, so it was a bummer. I found out that my the ink that I had bought, I was like, oh man, this is exactly what I was wanting. It was the white opaque ink that you use to basically, cover up or it was like white out for comic book artists. And I've been, it was weird. I was using it today. And I guess maybe since I was only using it as a last step, I didn't notice. Hey man, like you're always welcome. And if you have any if you have any thoughts, anything you want to say, any comments, critiques, what have you, throw it out there. Janet's always great. She's always out here in the chat, like talking with people. It's awesome. Again, thank you all for coming out here. Thank you for the thumbs up. And oh yeah, so that white opaque ink that I was using on top of my black inks to kind of cover stuff up, I went over it with like regular ink today, and to my surprise and disappointment, I found out that it wasn't waterproof. And I was thinking everything Copic was waterproof, but Whiteout's waterproof, my Gesso's waterproof, and then there we go. Damn, the stuff that I paid more money for that was supposed to be of higher quality, you can't paint on top of, and I found that out the hard way. So that was a bummer, but alas, you must move on. Yes, Janet is a gem. She is an absolute gem. All right, so this is kind of a boring part maybe for people to watch, but just going to go in there and this is how the I guess this is how the pros do it. Just go back in there and get the big thick parts with the big brush, and then the smaller parts with the smaller brush. So, Supreme Heretic, where are you writing from? Are you in the States as well? I was hoping Robert would come over today. Cold Era. I haven't seen him for a while. Like he had been asking me over and over to do like Ice Necromancer, and I finally got around to doing it, and I don't think he's seen it. Oh, in Ohio. Okay. All right. I actually, when I was a little boy, moved to Indiana. My mom's family is all up in Indiana. My grandma and grandpa lived there, and I was as you are working. Oh well, I could. It's difficult to show you, but I've got I built. Let me take a quick picture of this. I'll show you what I did. This is so MacGyver. I have my webcam here, and I built this. This is a curtain rod with some this thing right here is like what do you call it? It's like a little stand that you put up against up on the wall to like put ornaments or stuff or trophy, whatever have you on it, like a little picture stand. And I took that apart and drilled holes through it and put the uh, the rod through there. And then I have this big piece of wood that I attached to it, and I've got that on there with clamps. And then I attached it to a base, which is really sturdy. And so this camera, my camera right here, I attach to this and have it pointing down. So yeah, I MacGyvered it. So that's how I do the whole process. There you go. Behind the scenes. Yes, exactly, man. All right, so that kind of stuff comes into handy when you I don't know if you guys have heard my quarantine story when I came back from America after the Vegas trip. It was hell, like literal hell. So the first hotel that they send me to after I get off the plane, first of all, it's not just like get off the plane and go straight to the hotel. I got in at 3 p.m. And after going through Narita Airport and all of the quarantine protocol and like all the places doing all the tests, getting all these questions asked to you, downloading apps, sitting, standing, walking, sitting, standing, walking. Finally got to the hotel 5.5 hours later at 8:30 at night. So my first hotel was small as hell. I couldn't even walk around in it. I basically for 3 days I just lay down, watched TV, took shower, ate, uh, watched TV, and just went to bed early and woke up late because there was just nothing to do for 3 days. So after that, I had an Airbnb all planned, all ready to go. Really nice, good old. Where can I get one? One of these? Yeah. I don't know if you're asking about a proper one. I don't know. I just built mine. um, uh, my my I was there for 3.5 days, and on the morning of my last day I was there, I had to take a test, and they found out that I had COVID, and they like had all the ASVAT team, everybody's just acting like I was patient number one or what have you. And then I had to go to a different hotel. And the Airbnb that I had booked, really big, nice, lots of area for me to, because I basically had brought my whole art office with me so I could do live art, work on the comic book and stuff while I was there. Because I had nothing to do for 2 weeks. I had to be in a hotel for 2 weeks. And so I couldn't go to the Airbnb that I had reserved, and instead they took me to this a different hotel close to the airport, where all the people who had positive corona tests had to go. And I got to my room, and immediately it was just like, oh, fuck's sakes. It was bigger than the first room, but no microwave, a fridge, a TV, a fridge, a TV, and of course have my shower and stuff in there. But I had brought along with me like tape. I brought like clamps, all kinds of other little things with me just in case. And sure enough, man, whenever I was in that room and I wanted to do live paint, I didn't have this whole setup here. I went full MacGyver in that hotel room. I had this crazy setup where I'd taken apart a lamp and I had brought I had brought like something to punch holes with. Um, I punched holes through the. It was just really weird. You had to be there to see it. I should have taken pictures of it all. It was insane, but I had it taped up all the way to the ceiling. It was insane. And then also, I got to the hotel, and mind you, I had been in another hotel for 3 days. I had been traveling for 2 days. Hey, what's up? Oh, hey man, how's it going? Jed Bill 797. Thanks for dropping by, man. So, yeah, I ended up having no clean clothes. All my clothes were dirty, and I asked them there. I was like, "Hey, so you guys have you guys have a laundry service here?" They're like, "Oh, yes, of course." I was like, "Okay, well, I'd like to do my laundry," and they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, you have to make a reservation for it because you're not allowed to go out of your room. You're not allowed to interact with other people for 2 weeks. You can only go out of your room for a short time each day to walk around the hall. Your window barely opens. You can't get fresh air." So I said, "All right. So my clothes, I need to wash them." I was like, "So how? What can I do it? What time can I do it today?" They're like, "Today?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I'd like to do them today." They're like, "Okay, well, let's see." And this was the 20th, August 20th that I called them, and they're like, "Okay, so we could get you down for August 25th." And I went, "Huh? 5 days? It's going to take me 5 days to do my. I can't do my laundry for another 5 days. I've been like wearing this pair of clothes for 2 days now." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're so sorry. Because of all of the corona restrictions in the hotel, we can only do so many like things of laundry per day because oh geez, I'm so stupid." So I ended up just saying, "Do you guys have laundry detergent?" They're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Just bring me some to my room." "What's up, man? How you doing, Red Creative 696? Thanks for dropping by. Good morning to you." And so I just ended up saying, "Just bring me some laundry detergent." And I took the laundry detergent, filled the bathtub up with water, and as I took a shower, and then I filled the bathtub up with some water, and I threw in the laundry detergent, and I just started stomping on my clothes, and there was nowhere to hang them, so I took apart uh, the curtain rod and just messed with the curtains. Took the strap off of my duffel bag. I had some extra what should we call it? Uh, Charging cords for my extra cords for my cell phone charger. So I see, man, you should have seen. It was totally like MacGyver had been in my room. I had like this whole uh, laundry, dr- all these laundry lines hung up. This crazy thing built for my like for my camera, so I could do live shows. It was insane. Yeah, so that was for 2 weeks. Oh, well, I was in that room for 11 days. But the worst part is they would bring you your food 3 times a day. They would bring you food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it was just basically like really bad airline food. But that wasn't the worst part of it. What they would do is they would deliver, for example, breakfast time. They would start delivering food at 7. They would make these announcements in your room, by the way, over a loudspeaker. Attention, attention. From now, we will commence delivery of your breakfast. While we are delivering your breakfast, do not leave your room to get your breakfast. You must stay in your room until we make an announcement that you can get your breakfast, which will be located outside on your chair. Because they had a chair outside of our door where they put everything on. Uh, that started at 7 o'clock, and you could hear them outside delivering stuff. And if you were like, "Oh, I could hear them go by," and if like after they go by, I went out to get it, they would come by to my room afterwards and like kind of like, hey, did you get your food? You're not supposed to do that until we make the announcement, kind of thing. Okay. Um, they would make the announcement to pick up your food an hour and a half later. So they started delivering at 7. I hear them go by my room at like 7:30, and then 9 to 9:30 around that time, they would make an announcement. All breakfast has delivered. You are now permitted to get your food. When you do so, make sure that you are wearing a mask when you get your meal. Uh, like, yeah. So by the time that you were got your meal and were ready to eat, they had like the hallway was like, it was really cold because they had the air conditioner on full blast. So you would get your food and it would be cold as hell. No microwave in your room. Oh, you did have a hot water pot. So I probably could have rigged something with my hot water pot where I could use it like a microwave, but I just couldn't be bothered. So I ended up every day having 3 cold meals for 2 weeks. Cold, shitty airline meals. So I was ready to get the hell out of that place as soon as I could. It was just, it was just a horrible experience. And I really had to push myself to do like the live art streams there because you're just not inspired at all to do anything. You watch movies, and you're just like, okay, and you just want to go outside and get some fresh air. That's all it was. But enough of my complaining. But yes, the American ingenuity definitely came into handy during my stint in the airport hotel. Put on some more music here. I might put on some Tool. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. But again, thanks everybody for dropping by. I apologize. I'm not working on my like a more dynamic piece right now, but I just have to get this done. I want to have something um, for them to look at tomorrow. So I wanted to get this out of the way first. So I decided to do one of the, not the least challenging one, but one of the easier ones. So this is Comics Division. Um, and again, I like to do everything, by hand. That's just how I am. And it's still a process that I'm working on. It's a constant. It's a constant. I'm not going to call it a battle. I'm not going to call it a fight, but it's a constant learning experience, trial and error, making mistakes, succeeding until you. I mean, there is no until. I mean, I think it's just like a constant learning experience. You're always finding new things. Maybe you pick up some skills here and you drop some there. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoy working with the medium I'm working with right now, and in the style I'm working with. Um, the one thing that I've been that people have criticized me about in the past, like fine artists, is that if you go through my portfolio of work, it looks like 20 different artists did the pictures. We're working on the artwork. It looked like a portfolio of 20 different artists because I was constantly working with different styles, and I wouldn't stick with them very long. I would move from style to style. I was just trying to experiment with things, but I could never find a style or more that I was very comfortable with and replicating. That's one thing that I saw many artists that was extremely jealous of. Well, not jealous, but envious of. Is they would have like a multitude, a whole body of work, and even though each picture was like contained their style, it didn't seem monotonous. Um, and the problem I was having with my stuff is I had many different styles, but nothing was really consistent. But since I started working on this, I found that I have a consistent style that I enjoy working with. Like I could do these every single day and not get tired of them at all. And that's something I haven't been able to say about my artwork for well, actually forever. I don't think I've ever been able to say that about it. It's always like, oh, let's try this. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, let's try this. Oh, I don't like that. Or I'll do it for a while and think, hey, this could be it. But then after like, two or three shots at it, it was like, nah, this isn't it. I'm not feeling it. Back to square one. So I feel like I finally passed square one. You know what I mean? And I'm at a point now where I can. And the good thing about what I've discovered, the good thing about having a consistent style, working in a style, the same style consistently, is you are able to grow in that. You're not just doing something. If you only give a shot at it once and then you go on to a different style, then take a shot at that once and go to a different style, you're never really going to grow. You're just going to be constantly working at stage one, which to me is it's there's no growth there. So this is and I've been working like this for a year now, since last May, I would say, and yeah, enjoying the hell out of it. And I think you guys are too, which I appreciate. Even that makes it even that much more of a valuable thing because I get around the board for the most part very positive comments about it, and people seem very enthused about what I'm doing, and I appreciate that. But I want you to let you know that none of that goes to my head. I am constantly trying to like better my game every single time I go to draw something. Do another art piece. What I want to do, my goal is whenever I look at something that I just did, I want to be surprised, and I want to be impressed with that, and I want to say, oh wow, you could do that now. You weren't able to do that before, but you could do that now, and I'm happy about that. Satisfied for that for about 5 minutes, and then I'm back to square one. Well, not square one. I'm back to like going, okay, next challenge, next step. Let's level up. So yeah, that's just how I approach my artwork. So yeah, this is a very it's not that exciting of a drawing, but uh, it's when you do caricatures and stuff like this. I mean, that's the whole thing, I guess. Especially this process where, like, for me, one of the more exciting parts of it is when you start out and the initial rough sketch, because that's how I like to draw like that. And then, but you got to tighten it up and everything later because these could get blown up to larger sizes. And the larger they get, the more you can see with inconsistencies and stuff of that sort. So after I'm done inking this, I'll go back to that demon drawing that I was working on. So if you guys want to pop out and come check that out later, you're more than welcome. Or you can just chill out in the chat, talk with each other. But I was just wanting to give a little tutorial and kind of show people exactly the process I go through to do my caricature work here. And what I find is that I'm not like tracing the original picture, and by me doing my sketch and then tracing my sketch, it allows me to get that my illustrative quality to it. I almost wonder if I should keep the shadow. I might keep the shadow out. I want to see what this is like without the shadow. And see, that's the fun thing you can do is while you're working on this, you can, yeah, you could do like less lines. You can take out things. Yeah, this is looking cooler. So the other day, I took a video when I was out at Sekino Falls, the local waterfalls we have here. And I actually did a video of my whole painting process there. But I'm thinking about uploading it to YouTube, like a quick version of it, a sped up version of it. Only problem was and I should have checked this, was whenever I was painting, the lighting from the sun kind of created this horrible glare when you couldn't see the artwork very much. But as the sun changed position in the sky, you could see the artwork better and better on the canvas. So I might throw that up there. I'm also planning this weekend is going to be an art weekend. So I'm going to be painting on location because it is rice harvesting season now. And if you go outside, it looks like all of the fields are golden. It just looks gold. It's a beautiful time of year. So you'll see everybody out there harvesting the rice. So I want to get out there and do a nice painting of the rice while it's this color. Because the fields, the great thing about the fields here is every time of the season, they're changing color. They look different depending on the season. But this is my favorite time of season, favorite time of year. So I'd like to do a couple pictures like that because some artists from Miyazaki City have asked me to exhibit my work with them in a group exhibition in which we will be selling our artwork and promoting our artwork. Now, all of that artwork will be fine artwork, nothing of the comic book sorts. They've got a certain kind of client in mind. So they've asked me to do a bunch of landscapes and still life. And I've already done two, some chestnuts and some waterfalls. But I would like to get, yeah, some of those rice field ones done, maybe two of them or three of them tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but Saturday and Sunday. Hey, what's up, Mr. McGrant Gregory? Oh, you did it? It is comics. Yes, it is. It's the caricature for him. So I'm cleaning these caricatures up for the Friday Night Tights crew. Their caricatures. Yeah, so this is comics. So yeah, that's weird. YouTube actually they took away some of my subscribers, um, and so I don't know. Maybe I'm on their blacklist already, being associated with geeky gamer and neurotic types. I'm on their radar. So yeah, I promised Mrs. Nerdrotics that I would have something for her to look at. I've already done the initial stage, and now I'm just cleaning things up and making them more simple. That way I can hand those to her for Gary to look at, and maybe I could get a couple done before Friday Night Tights. I don't know if they'll. I did, didn't I? Oh no, I've been radicalized. Yeah, kind of on that kind of note. I do have a little story about kind of pertaining to that. I won't mention any names, but um, I've seen people these last few years change a lot. I guess I've had my changes as well. My eyes have been a lot more open to things. But I've seen friends of mine who have taken up positions that I'm extremely against. Um, they just seem so, it's just very divisive. Um, a lot of it involving critical race theory and um, social justice issues and things of that sort. People, friends who've never ever said anything like this before, and all of a sudden they're just out saying that white people need to apologize for this and that. I'm like, where are you guys getting this from? Why? And then we'll have conversations, and then one of my friends told me, "Man, I don't know what happened to you, but you've changed." And I was thinking, "Uh-oh, nerdrotics radicalized me." But no, I've always kind of had those opinions, but never really had to talk about them with people because it wasn't an issue to be like that we brought up. There was no conversation about it. But then that became like the top of the conversation. And if I ever said anything that was opposite of their view, I'd get like accused of being a Trump supporter or Rush Limbaugh supporter. And it's like, that has nothing to do with anything at all. And you don't even know if I voted those people. And I don't have to tell you if I did or not. And even if I did, it doesn't matter. I don't care for who you vote for. You shouldn't care who I vote for. But then you get accusations thrown at you. It's like, what is this all about? All right. So there we go. Comics. Oh no, I got to do his beard. It's still white. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Like, we never, ever, 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 ever had these kind of conversations before. Like, zero. None at all. And then all of a sudden, that's all the conversation would turn to that. It's like, man, I don't want to talk about any of this because it's just going to end up getting people angry at each other. And God forbid if I try to take, like, they have, low spec, they have. God forbid if you try to, like, play devil's advocate. Man. So I mean, it's sad, but I just don't waste time with them anymore. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe someday when we're older and much wiser, we can, I don't know. But just right now, I can't deal with it. It's just, it was funny. I know you guys probably don't want to. Exactly, man. It was none of anybody's business. Hey, what's up, Darth Haster? It's like, I just don't, I'm not interested in talking about those things at all. All right, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, it's funny. Like last night, I know listening to other people's dreams is kind of like a boring thing, but I had a dream last night that, hello, what's up, Darth Haster, man? How you doing? I was on Price is Right. The Price is Right. And there was like two people up there on stage. One was like a white guy. The other one was I can't remember if it was a black lady or an Asian lady. One of the two. I can't remember what it was. Who it was. And like the host is like, okay, it's time for the next game. What's wrong with the white guy? This is my dream. And the white guy's just like sitting back in his chair, like shaking his head, like, what the fuck is this? And they're like, this game, you have to, like, let's point out all of the negative parts of. It was the Bob Barker one. It was Bob Barker, man. I never watched Drew Carey. I'm a Bob Barker guy. So it was Bob Barker hosting. And it was basically like, let's go through the qualities that make a white man bad. And he's just like shaking his head. It's like, what is going on here? And then they go through the first question. It was just like this. I can't remember what the question was, but it was just insane. And the guy's like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. And he just stands up. It's like, I don't need to win a prize. And he stands up and he just walks out. And then this old lady comes running on stage to take his place, sits down. And that was pretty much as much I can remember from that part of the dream. But I woke up going, oh my God, it's in my dreams now. I need to look at less Twitter before I go to bed. Yeah. So yeah, it was Bob Barker. Good old Bob Barker. All right, so I am finished with the black outline here of Comics Division. So it's a lot cleaner, and you can see those blue lines where I didn't fill in. I'm going to leave those. Yeah, I'm going to. It's weird when I'm drawing it here and I'm looking at it close. It looks fine, and then I zoom in on the camera. I'm like, nah, that looks like crap. So let me just do that real quick. Yeah. All right, so here's Comics Division. What's up, Darius? How's it going, man? Yeah, simpler, less lines.